Hello and welcome to ABC Interactive English. I'm Matt.
And I'm Karen. Today we have a lesson called Finland, the happiest country in the world. And we're looking at part 1. That's an interesting title. The happiest country in the world. And it says it's Finland. How about you, Matt? What do you think? In your opinion, what is the happiest country in the world?
I've always thought one of the happiest places I've traveled to is Thailand.
I have to agree with you. I have been to Thailand and I think it's one of the happiest countries in the world. Why do you think that? Why do you think Thailand is the happiest country in the world?
Why? Well, people always seem very happy to greet you and always smiling at you. And maybe it's they're happy because they have warm weather all year round.
You're right.
And because the food is excellent.
I love the food as well. But I have to say, I think Canada is also a happy country too. Don't you agree? You're from Canada, I'm from Canada. Do you agree with that?
I think people are very nice in Canada. I don't know if they're always happy when they're being nice.
Well, I think in order to be nice, you have to be happy, right?
I can pretend.
You can really? Well, I believe that they are sincere. So, whenever I go back to Canada, I always, miss, like the friendly talks and then, nodding to like strangers on the street or just chit chat with strangers. I think Canada is actually quite nice.
It is nice. If that means the same as happy. Well, another country that I know is supposed to be very happy. In fact, the happiest country in Asia is Bhutan.
Bhutan? Really? Why is it the happiest country in the world or in Asia?
I don't know exactly because I have not been able to travel there yet. So it's actually quite difficult to travel to Bhutan.
That's what I heard too. So I guess it's probably not polluted at all because not a lot of tourists go there. So I'm guessing it's probably really beautiful.
It looks, from the photos I've seen, it looks incredibly beautiful.
Oh, I can't wait to learn about today's, lesson because we're talking about the happiest country in the world and I love being happy. Who doesn't? Okay, and we'll see you guys later.
Finland is a nation in the north of Europe. It has a cold climate, and half the year is in the dark of winter. That doesn't get Finnish people down, though. That's because it's a happy place to live. In fact, Finland is the happiest country in the world. One reason for that is its beautiful natural environment.
So we're looking at part 1 of Finland, the happiest country in the world. I would love to learn more about the happiest country in the world.
That's right, so let's begin.
All right.
Finland is a nation in the north of Europe.
And nation is our first vocabulary word, and that is a noun. Nation basically just means country, right? So I could say Canada is a large nation. That means it's very, very big. It's a big country. Or the north is our next vocabulary word, and that is also a noun. So north basically just means a direction, right? So when you're looking at a map, and the one that's pointing up is usually north, right? And also when you're looking at a compass that's pointing in different directions, usually it points to north. And the opposite of north is south. So I could say Taipei is in the north of Taiwan.
That's right. And today we're talking about Finland, which is in the north of Europe, so it's probably very cold up there.
Yeah, I would say.
More about that. It has a cold climate and half the year is in the dark of winter. That doesn't get Finnish people down, though.
That would definitely get me down.
That would get you down? Yeah, me too, actually. I didn't like the winters in Canada either.
Exactly. But you're from Vancouver, right? It doesn't really get very, very cold.
In the winter in Vancouver, it just rains.
I know.
Always raining. And although in Taipei, it's not much better.
That's true.
Okay, so speaking of the weather, today our next vocabulary word is climate. And climate is a noun, and it's not the same as the word weather. So climate means the usual weather for a place. So for example, we could say the climate is very warm, that doesn't mean that place doesn't sometimes have cold weather.
And also, I think the climate in Taiwan is very, very humid.
That's right. Taiwan has a hot and humid climate.
That's right.
But we still get some cold days in winter.
Definitely. And I don't really like it.
Neither do I.
Okay.
Okay, continuing on. That's because it's a happy place to live. In fact, Finland is the happiest country in the world. One reason for that is its beautiful natural environment.
And reason is our next vocabulary word, and that is a noun. So when you give reason for something, that just means that you're telling, explaining, or giving explanation to a question, why, right?
So when we use the word because, usually what follows is the reason for something.
Exactly. So I can tell you, hey, give me one reason to believe you.
Why wouldn't you believe me?
Or maybe because you lie so many times, and that would be, my reason for not believing you.
Okay.
Right?
That's right. So our next vocabulary word is an adjective, and it is natural. So natural means not made by people, something that occurs in nature or in the outside. It's not made by anyone, it's natural. So we might say that the Northern Lights are a natural occurrence.
Ah, the Northern Lights. I think a lot of people would travel to see the Northern Lights, right?
That's right. The Northern Lights, or Aurora Borealis, is something that you can actually see in Finland.
That's right. You can also see that in Canada as well, in the northern part of Canada.
That's right. Have you seen it?
No, I haven't, but I would love to. How about you?
I also have never seen the Northern Lights, and it's something that many of my friends in Taiwan, when they hear that I'm from Canada, they ask me, have you seen the Northern Lights? And I always have to say,
no. Because you have to travel to the northern part of Canada where it's really, really cold. So usually we're probably in the south part of Canada, so we don't usually see the Northern Lights.
That's right. So, and also in the city, it's supposed to be too bright. So even sometimes it comes far enough south, but if you live in a city,
you
you're
can't
not gonna
see
see
it.
them.
But I heard it's really, really beautiful, and you have to see it at least once in your lifetime.
That's right. I have to make a trip to the north of Canada, or maybe even to the north of Finland if I want to see these Northern Lights.
Of course. Okay, but in the meantime, let's take a short break and we'll be right back.
Finland has plenty of trees, lakes, and wildlife. It also has lots of clean air and low pollution levels. So the Finnish love to head outside and enjoy it.
Welcome back, everyone. So we're still talking about this happiest country in the world, Finland, right?
Very surprising.
And we talked about how Finland has a lot of natural beauty.
That's right, natural things you can see, and we're going to learn more about the kind of natural beauty that this happy country of Finland has. So, Finland has plenty of trees, lakes, and wildlife. What is wildlife?
Wildlife is our vocabulary word. Wildlife just basically means wild animals, right? We have a lot of wildlife in Taiwan as well. What kind of wildlife can we see in Taiwan? Do you know?
I haven't actually seen them in the wild, but Taiwan's famous black bear
That's
is
right.
one of its most famous forms of wildlife. What other kinds of wildlife?
I think there is also the leopard cat, right?
That's right, another very famous one, the Taiwanese leopard cat.
And the wild boars.
Wild boars. I have not seen any of these in the wild. Have you?
No, I haven't. So I kind of Googled it.
Yeah, so the ones I have seen are squirrels.
That's right.
I've seen squirrels.
I see squirrels all the time. And you can also see a lot of wildlife in Africa as well.
What kind of wildlife do you think they have in Finland?
I'm guessing deer.
Yes, I think so.
And anything else?
Maybe the polar bears?
Maybe polar bears? Maybe. Okay, let's continue. It also has lots of clean air and low pollution levels.
So, pollution is our next vocabulary word, and pollution is a noun. Pollution is anything that we put into our environment or onto our world that makes it worse, that's bad for our environment or bad for the earth.
That's right. So the air pollution, right? Air pollution can be really bad if you drive your cars all the time or, you know, we have factories running all the time. All those things, they really hurt and pollute. That's the verb for pollution. And really pollute our air, right?
That's right. So maybe we should make sure to ride a bicycle or to walk some places or take public transit to help reduce things like air pollution.
Exactly. And then the level, I heard that the level of pollution in Taichung is actually quite high, right? The air pollution.
Yes, I think so. So we can try to reduce the level of air pollution.
Definitely, by walking more, taking public transportation. And level is our next vocabulary word, and that is a noun. So when you're talking about the pollution level, you're talking about the amount of pollution, like how much there is, right? So like I said, the level of pollution, the air pollution in Taichung is really, really high. Sometimes it's very unbearable. Okay, let's continue. So, the Finnish love to head outside and enjoy it.
So that brings us to our next vocabulary word, to head. So that's a verb, to head somewhere. It means to leave or depart from one place to go to another. So I can say I'm going to head to my friend's house. Just means I'm going to go to my friend's house.
That's right.
So we're not using our head, but just to head.
Just to go there, right?
Yes.
That's right. So we were talking about the Finnish people. People in Finland, we say Finnish, right? And then people in Taiwan, we call ourselves Taiwanese. So when we say Finnish, we're not talking about something is finished. So we're talking about the people in Finland. So they're saying the Finnish love to head outside and enjoy the clean air. That's what they're talking about.
That's right. We also talked about some Finnish wildlife, and we talked about the reindeer. When you think of Finnish wildlife that's reindeer, what else do you think of, Karen?
Oh, are you thinking what I'm thinking? Ho, ho, ho.
That's right. So Finland's maybe most famous resident is
Santa Claus. That's right. So actually, I heard there's like a little village in Finland, right? That people can visit. And then that's where Santa Claus lives.
Yeah, I believe he does. And I know also that around Christmas time, you can write a letter and send it to Santa Claus in Finland to tell him what you want for Christmas.
Aw, that is so cute. Okay, well, we learned quite a lot about Finland. We know that it's a beautiful place. It has a lot of natural beauty. Oh, I can't wait to learn more in part 2.
I can't wait either.
Okay, I'll see you guys next time.
Bye.
Finland is a nation in the north of Europe. It has a cold climate, and half the year is in the dark of winter. That doesn't get Finnish people down, though. That's because it's a happy place to live. In fact, Finland is the happiest country in the world. One reason for that is its beautiful natural environment. Finland has plenty of trees, lakes, and wildlife. It also has lots of clean air and low pollution levels. So the Finnish love to head outside and enjoy it.
It's Winnie here. Hello， 又和大家见面了。那这次的文章中谈到 Finland 芬兰这个国家，就来到我们第一个单字是 nation 名词国家。The U.S. is one of the richest nations in the world。美国呢是世界上最富有的国家之一。第二个是 north 名词北方或是北部。The train is heading north。火车呢向北行驶。接着是 pollution 名词污染。There is serious air pollution in Beijing. Serious 就是形容词严重的，北京的空气污染很严重。最后是 level 名词程度。The pollution level in this area is very low. 这个区域内的污染程度非常低。接下来看一下文法哦。 首先呢，第一个是 in the dark of winter， 黑漆漆的冬天。Dark 呢在此是为名词，黑暗。Winter 呢前面是不用加任何冠词的。It's easy to feel depressed in the dark of winter. Depressed 形容词，郁闷的，在黑漆漆的冬天很容易感到抑郁。接下来是 A gets B down，A 使 B 沮丧。Get somebody down 呢是使某人沮丧或是难过。Don't let a setback get you down. Setback 是名词，是挫折，别因为一次挫折就灰心沮丧。最后这个呢是 plenty of 加名词许多什么什么。Plenty 呢就是很多或是大量，那这个用法呢可以接可数名词或是不可数名词。比方说文中用法。Finland has plenty of trees， 意思是芬兰有许多的树木。Plenty of trees 呢，就是可数名词。那不可数的用法有像是 plenty of time， 很多时间。That famous movie star has plenty of job offers。Job offers 呢，就是工作机会。那位火红的电影明星有很多工作机会。大家下次见。
Hey guys, how's it going? My name is Ian.
I'm Stephen.
And today we're playing a game called Word Drop, where we have different words or phrases on these 3 index cards, and we have to casually work them into our sentences.
Okay.
All right, so you go first this time.
All right. I think that it's really great in this world that there are so many different types of cultures and different types of people and languages. Like, you know, some places like the United States have a lot of different types of people. You have like Hispanic culture, Asian culture, African culture, just any kind of culture. It's just like a huge nation with different types of people.
Yeah, and that's interesting because Taiwan is not. Taiwan is more of a monolith where everybody is mostly Taiwanese. Obviously, there are foreigners that live here. But predominantly it's just like one ethnicity and one race, I guess. One thing I will say about Taiwan is that there is a lot of pollution, and that is something I'm not terribly used to.
Actually, I used to love to go like jogging outside. Like that was like one of my favorite things to do. And then one day I went jogging. I jogged for an hour. I was like really good shape. And then my friend like saw me, was sweating, and she was like, "Why are you jogging outside?" I was like, "To be healthy." And she was like, "No, you can't be healthy jogging outside because the level of air pollution is very high."
Yeah, and it's not as bad in Taipei because it rains a lot, you know. But if you go south, there's a lot more pollution, like in Kaohsiung and Taichung. And I think depending on the weather, like the winters, there's like a jet stream, you know what I mean, coming from China sometimes. But yeah, it's horrible, the pollution. I do love exercising outside as well. I like biking, and the U-bikes are great here in Taipei and a lot of other places, but I'll just bike north up the river.
I think that's a really good way to, you know, like get exercise still, and hopefully that there still is different times when we can actually go outside and not worry about air pollution. But yeah, I do feel like there are definitely a lot of options out there for us to stay healthy, but also not get air pollution in our lungs. So hopefully in the future we can think of plenty of options to avoid this problem.
Yeah, I hope so too, but I don't know with like, you know, the population increasing, the worldwide population increasing, meaning there are more mouths to feed. There's just more mouths consuming things, right? Like our natural resources, but it's true, right?
It's
like
true,
everybody, think about how much garbage you produce like in a day. There are people that try to like produce no garbage, you know? And I think all of this like, the lack of natural resources, it just gets me down.
That gets me down too. Yeah, it's really sad. It makes me really scared to think about it sometimes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I know.
Stop wasting things.
Yeah.
See you next time.